I make a motion to select the following components for our regional sewer project. On the Route 66 collection system options, all low-pressure 219th overlook includes all grinder pumps for $1,602,900. Under the Route 219 collection system, the gravity line pump station to the Curtis site, $565,500. Gravity Curtis site past Russell Holt and North Uphill for $768,300. Low pressure 66 south 2 miles towards Lady Fork for $496,600. Under the pump from Linwood to alternative sites, Snowshoe Site 7A for $1,781,000. The Valley Treatment Plant alternatives and options. Snowshoe Site 7A membranes for $5,996,120. And the Mountain Treatment Plant alternatives. Pump Silver Creek sewage to Snowshoe, $767,000. And upgrade existing Snowshoe Village plant to SBRs for $7,462,000 for a total of $19,439,420. Do I have a second?
I'll second. What are you saying, Tom? Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
That's what we do.
Can I have a second?
Can I, now that it's been questioned and seconded, I can support the going south on towards Slady Fork under the following conditions, so that if there aren't any customers down there, we don't do it.
I'd be willing to amend my motion to include the parameters that we were given by the state, that if the associations have their meetings, have their elections, and we are able to demonstrate that the septic systems are operating properly, that we would, with agreement.
Can I support that, but can I ask you a question?
Sure, of course.
What basis does the DEP utilize to authorize us to enter somebody's property to inspect something without probable cause?
Well, I don't know that we would have to define how we would do that. I think my way of doing it would simply be to inquire Mr. Henderson, see what his position was, and if we needed to do more or less than that, we would work through it.
You go first. People aren't going to put up with that. I don't think.
Well,
I think that, my thing is, I think we ought to inquire the Attorney General for the state of West Virginia to ask him, under what authority does the DEP make that request of us? Out of the blue, you go, let's pick 2 homeowners associations and instruct the PSD to go inspect their septic systems or have their septic systems inspected?
I don't think
I get it.
I'm not really sure that they said we had to have them inspected. We had to, I forget the exact language, but
verify that they're
verify.
working.
Yes.
And I think.
And how do you do that?
Well, that's I guess, Chris, that's up to see how we can do it. My suggestion would be to first contact the county sanitarian and have him
person who would do it.
Health Commission.
have him elaborate on it. And perhaps that would not include a site inspection for each one.
Well, here's my point on that, and that is that the Elk River Association, Headwaters Association, did a sample with, and Tolly, correct me if I'm wrong, sampled the elk and the logical locations for the possible contamination from the septic systems coming from those two homeowners associations, and turned up nothing, and reported that to the DEP and to the Public Service Commission.
I don't
think we-
Charlie, I don't think they specifically targeted those homeowners associations,
We
but
did.
they did samplings, and we can
Downstream
use,
of there.
and we can use that information to put forward our position.
Okay, good. So could you repeat your amendment?
I have amended in two ways to, let me gather my thoughts, that upon that using the DEP guideline, which they gave us, upon receipt of the minutes of meetings of Slady Fork Farms and Slady Ridge, that if their vote is that they do not need or want the sewer system, and upon determining the viability of septic systems in a manner that we find
Is determined appropriate by the county sanitarian?
that determined appropriate by the county sanitarian, that we would consider withdrawing that section. And that I also would like to add that this motion will be made conditionally upon all approvals and permits being obtained.
I would second that amendment.
Okay? Any more discussion?
Yes. I'm prepared to vote for this alternative as my first choice, because I believe that it is a reasonable path to a solution. However, there's no guarantee that this is going to pass muster, because the 7A site may turn up some problems that are not anticipated. And I find that the participation in the community and the willingness of the property owners to make tremendous sacrifices is almost unbelievable. I think that Site 7A offers the best alternative in the long run as a permanent solution for the next 100 years, whereas I think we would end up being limited at the end behind Snowshoe. But I certainly believe that site would be a very appropriate site for the next 30 years, but given that there's going to be people around 50 years from now, but I would almost beg the Galfords to, don't pull anything off the table, because 7A might not fly, and time is of the essence. And if the state historical review doesn't agree that because it's 300 feet away that it basically has the same applications, we may be back on bended knee very shortly. And they're headed down, I think, on Tuesday to talk to everybody, right? And all of this information will be submitted for collateral approval if something comes up that trips us up with 7A. But caveat my selection or my preference for 7A at this point in time with the terms of, wow, I feel blessed. It's like having 6 really excellent kindergarten teachers apply for one kindergarten position. You can only get one, but you'd like to have all 6 of them.
Eamon?
Yeah, you're just speaking mainly now of 7A, or you're speaking about the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Well, it's a tough decision, real tough, and I'm sure it's been the same with you two. Things that I think that we could consider is chillers for one thing. That's $500,000, so they say. If we put it at 7A, and by the way, that is my selection, 7A. We only have one pump to bring it from down there up to 7A. Or if we go beyond, they're saying 2 pumps at a cost of $1.6 million more to take it a few feet. I don't believe that, but it's right. And whenever I said 7A, I'm talking about one plant at 7A, centralized plant. And we will get rid of the bad road going up to the village, and that has been and still yet is a problem, and it will be in the winter months. It's a big problem with taking big equipment in there. Could build and not interfere with other operations while this thing is being built. We can build it, get it all ready, and turn the valve on. And maybe I'm wrong about that too, but I don't think so. 8 engineers have told me that the gravity line from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain is not dangerous. They said maintenance-wise, it would probably take some more maintenance. That was